This is the story of my life. I'd call it my autobiography, except that I didn't write it. But if life is a love song, then Frank Sinatra sang my script. Act 1. It starts in 1944.
Would you like to swing
At age
on a
13,
star?
I wasn't a bobby soxer like millions of screaming girls my age.
And be-
But I was launched with stardust sprinkled in my page boy hair.
Or would you rather be a mule?
Soon to confront my first midlife crisis at 14, with unexpected physical developments, prissy teachers, and backward boys. It was Sinatra again who spurred us onward into the future by giving new life to the greatest of great American dreams, everlasting, if not ever elastic, romantic love.
I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you, come rain or come shine. High as a mountain and deep as a river.
Sinatra not only revived romance, he embodied it. Who could resist? Who wanted to? Not even the oblivious boys. Romance was the beam in our collective eye, ready to light on the nearest willing object. Lucky for me, the siren song was heard and heeded by the very attractive boy next door. Cue the Jack years.
How can I ignore the girl next door?
So, by age 16, boy meets girl and the violins of life are playing on Wall Avenue in Paterson, New Jersey, between two young people, only 4 years, 2 houses, and 1 vacant lot apart.
When I was 17, it was a very good year.
Love walked right in. At 17, we were engaged, and at 18, just as Sinatra prescribed,
Love and marriage, they go together like a horse and carriage. This I'll tell you.
life reached its first ultimate resolution, if somewhat prematurely. Only my mother was the mule who stubbornly commanded I stay in school, so I shouldn't grow up to be a fool. And then,
When I was 21, it was a very good year. It was
21.
very
College graduation 1 year early. First in my class, not academically, but maternally. First to become pregnant, at least legitimately.
I've got you under my skin. I have got you deep in the heart of me.
Also night and day. Rosemary was the one, and then Kathy the two, and temporarily Frankie and I parted company. Life was not, as he sang, a bowl of cherries. Life was a bowl of cereal and prunes, or as Hillary would later put it, about baking cookies. Plus, for me, about the early stirrings of writing desires. Enter midlife crisis 2, lately labeled the 30s passage, bringing changes. We all went into school full-time, the children and me, followed by a sharp domestic course correction, my first real job, and a new home with a better view, on the river of my soul.
Moon River, wider than a mile.
That song, those lyrics, were the background music to the tap dance of my Bergen record typewriter, constantly teasing forth a spirit of adventure. I was Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's, from whence the song came. Holly Golightly, the runaway child bride, unfocused, unrealized, and more than a little unbalanced. Questions arose. Where was I? Where was I going? The world itself seemed to echo the question. At that very moment, the 50s post-war stability began to wobble, with me writing about it. The Cuban Missile Crisis, Betty Friedan and the Feminine Mystique, Marilyn Monroe's suicide, pot and Allen Ginsberg and Howl and hippies, until...
When I was 35, it was a very good year.
That was when the Konner family made another daring decision, spurred on by Moon River, and were crossing you in style one day.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
We did.
I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
It was the 60s, and I was spreading the news, when unpredictably the world went mad. Vietnam, the assassinations of the Kennedys and King. As I wrote in a script in 1969, the moon, the Mets, and Woodstock. That was from Oh Woodstock and my first 2 Emmy Awards. But at home, I was deep into stormy weather, as Frank would sing. Gloom and misery everywhere. Family illness, loss, tragedy, grief. And finally, midlife crisis 3.
This is a song about a couple of adult people who have spent, quite a long time together, till one day one of them gets restless and decides to leave. Whether it's the man or woman who left is unimportant. It's a breakup.
Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps moving around, one who can't move.
Act 2. Strike Up the Band, a song from an earlier era. New music up and under. Rosemary in college. Kathy Happy in Rags, also known as the Laird look, in high school. The Roaring 70s. The peace movement, the women's movement, gay liberation, Aquarius and the New Age. Make love, not war. I was reporting it and acting it out, and making new friends, Howard and Charlie and Bernie, etc., 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 as the King of Siam would sing. New times, a new tune, a new beat.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring sprung.
Enter Al, first as boss, then as friend, then more. He had a very original line.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay.
He meant it literally. I took it metaphorically and upped the ante.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play a prayer with those stars. Let me see what life is like on...
And so the courtship began, and lasted, and lasted, and lasted.
Let's take it nice and easy. It's gonna be so easy for us to fall in love.
Almost 20 years, 5 family weddings, 4 grandchildren, 3 jobs, and about 25 TV productions later, Al and Joan got married. After so much time, many wondered why. Sinatra knew.
When somebody loves all the way, happy to be near you when you need someone to cheer you.
We had found our Sinatra moment. We were two drifters off to see the world. Bali, Australia, New Guinea, Bora Bora. Love was better the second time around. Mature love and truly. Perfection? Stay tuned. Act 3. The answer is there's more to life than perfection. Like Old Man River, it just keeps rolling along, if you're lucky. And not just on musical cue. Joys like grandchildren, and sorrows like deaths and disappointments, choices, changes, decisions, the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May.
Yes, life is a learning experience if you don't make up your mind in advance. And there can always be a pocket full of miracles and other cliches if
fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart.
young in heart, but not always in the joints and bones. And as we all know, never lasts forever. That's the paradox and the thrill of it.
But now the days are short. I'm in the autumn of the year, and now I think of my life as vintage wine from fine old kegs.
And so, in sum, after all, but not yet finally, that's the way it was, and the way it is. The who, the what, the when, the where,
That's life.
a little of the why.
I tell you, I can't deny it.
But it is Sinatra, always Sinatra,
Just won't buy it.
who told us the how.
And if I didn't think it was worth a single try,
Sort of.
why, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king.